So today, this is Rachel. Rachel has been, and I said, old time friend, business partner, because that's the truth. And after my latest interview with John Whiting, and he talked about something, and I told the story about food people, and I immediately thought of you, Rachel. And I was like, and then I posted something last week, and somebody was rolling because Nicole Hammonds, remember Nicole?
Yeah.
Oh, how can you forget?
Yeah, really.
She commented and said something like, our crazy ass, did you see this? And people that follow me now, they don't know me like that. And so they thought it was so funny. And I said, I've got to get Rachel on here. And the fact that you were like, let's do it. And you got a microphone.
I got a mic.
I got a mic, man. So I'll introduce you. And the reason I went on personal is I thought, Rachel, we got so much to talk about. What do we do? And she's savvy, she's fucking savvy. I mean, Avi. And she goes, let's do it on your personal, because there's dudes. She goes, we're going to talk about everything from tech to sex to everything. So, and everybody's like, sex, what? But why don't we always do that, Rachel? I'm just kidding.
Suppression.
Yeah. Suppression. Yeah. So we've been through it, man. I met her in the 6th grade, turned her in for bringing weed to school, and she's still my friend. Even after, and we went through a long spat of when I was having kids, growing the business, and she was going through her stuff, man. We just got so many nuggets to share and wisdom. And Rachel's got a really cool story, and I wanted to bring her on because she's an artist by the gift of whatever you want to believe in.
Genes.
What?
I said genetics. By the gift of genetics.
It's in her genes. It's in her spirit. She's an artist. And for a lot of artists, because I work with a lot of artists, I work with messengers, creators, writers, just artists. And the biggest thing I see, Rachel, is they're scared to charge for it. So anyway, I just want to introduce y'all. I consider Rachel a success story, and she's known me for a long time. So we're going to have fun, mix it with fucking life, business, and everything. So Rachel, thank you for coming on today.
You're welcome. Here's the thing, Casey. I'm so behind the scenes, I'm production, that I don't talk in front of a camera. This is the first time I've talked in front of a camera since you and I did a fucking podcast for Friends with Benefits. And I don't even know what year that was.
Yeah, and I love your shirt. Where is this from?
Oh shit. I just got that from Vegas. There is the coolest spot out there. Speaking of artists, it's I can't even describe it. It looks like a grocery store, and then you walk in and it's like this trippy other world, and it's like an adult playground, but it's really, if I could remember, if you didn't ask me, I need to check the back of my shirt.
Well, it's funny. I get with you immediately in your energy, and I hear adult and then trippy, and I'm like, what kind of drugs can we do? And can we go to hedonism and be naked on the beach? I still love being naked. Do you still like being naked in public?
I think it's become I think when I was fluffier, I didn't mind it more, and now I just get cold.
Oh, really?
Now get me into a sauna or like a steam house, or when you go, what is it, Jeju? You remember Jeju?
Oh my God, yes.
Oh my! I was just talking to a friend of mine about that. Get me in there, and I'm naked all day. I don't even care who's around. I don't even know you, but I love it.
Okay, yeah.
But I'm warm.
Yeah, I'm warm. Yeah, well, that's why I moved to South Florida. You know what I'm saying? I gotta be warm. Yeah. So, and Rachel, we go way back too. I remember when the Kardashians turned their bikinis upside down, and you sent it to Skip. You were like, "Show Casey this shit," because listen, y'all, we put it down first, bitch. We were hammered, stoned, or drunk. One of them, because I used to make money. All three. I used to make money. I had a fake ID. Did you have one too?
Yeah, you made yours, and then I made mine differently. So but wait, no, we both did them. We did them in the office together.
We had multiple fake IDs.
I had a few. Oh, that's right. I had two. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And so we would make money by buying booze and selling it to other underagers. All right. We had it figured out. We were already business savvy.
I didn't even think about, I forgot about that. Oh my God.
Dude, I'm always slinging. How can we?
I forgot about us doing that. That's hilarious. We were broke as shit. Go to Florida, go anywhere, and just be like, it's fine. It's fine. We'll figure it out.
Hey, this is why you're here, because people think I'm like Yes, I'm still the same, but I'm different. But we've always been like that. We've always been like, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. And we usually do.
We usually do. The only regrets we both have is not having sex with Sam Hunt.
Oh my God. I don't.
Okay, yeah, I'm just kidding. That was like
I was
a
gonna
joke.
say, maybe speak for yourself on that one.
That was a
I
joke.
think he's in his perfect place.
Yes. So the reason let me skip back there. Like, why are we talking about that? Because everybody will go, "Where are you from? Where are you from?"
Oh yeah.
All I say is, you know Sam Hunt. Okay, we went to school with him. You know, oh, okay. I'm like, anyway.
It's funny in different worlds because I'm in this very artsy kind of near Atlanta and stuff, and it's actually a mix of people. I kind of even just I started. It's more like Nick Chubb. Do you know who Nick Chubb is? Oh
Nick Chubb.
hell yeah.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, we went to school with Nick Chubb, man. There we go.
Because you have some people and they don't listen to country, and and it's like, oh, I have no idea who you're talking about, and I'm like, okay, next. But it's crazy because there's a lot of people to choose from. I mean, Jason Wilkes. Gosh, you could go through the list of successful people from Cedartown, which is really, I guess, because we're so fucking bored and had nothing to do.
I don't know what it is. And then Trey Butler's doing some stuff for like acting now. He was on like something Walking with the Dead.
I mean, we could sit here and really go down the list of people we went to school with and probably be like, yep, doing this. Like, but what's cool is I really see everybody that's doing their thing really enjoying it. Like, it's almost like they're calling. So it's not just that they're like, oh, wow, these people are so talented. It's like they just grassroots did their thing and then just kept going with it and is really successful because of it.
Can you believe though that we're alive?
I say that to myself all the time. It's
now,
like, I don't know how many lives I got left.
People will be like, why, Casey? Why? Because Rachel, I'm not, no cap. I don't drink anymore. I physically feel like I can't. I physically feel like I can't. I'll smoke, I'll smoke weed, take some gummies. I'll do plant medicine, man. I'll smoke a toad with you. I'll do, I'll do that stuff maybe, but I can't do hard alcohol. I can't do anything like that right now. You know what I'm saying? So when we say we're surprised we're alive, we used to do pills. Can you imagine doing it now with all like that, the fentanyl scare, man?
No, I tell you, I work with a lot of young kids and young adults. It's almost like in that time of their life where they're really trying to figure things out. Like we were in like the early 20s and like teenage, whatever. And I'm just like, I love all of you. Just don't touch it. Like, even if your like friend has like, this is the best Coke ever or whatever, I'm like, don't touch it. It's not the way it was back in the 90s and then back in the 70s, all that stuff. We were kind of iffy back then with like ecstasy and stuff like that. Zach Brown, when you took X that time, like, and we're like, you can't trust it. I think that was close to some of the last times we really did that stuff.
Oh, it fucked me up, man. And that's one of the reasons, about plant medicine, because we run retreats now and stuff. Not we, but like there's a church we operate under. I was so scared of it because I thought I was going to trip like that. Thank God I didn't.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, so this is Rachel, man. Like I said, middle school, I didn't do too much stuff, but Rachel and I met divinely because we're both creators. We're both very creative. We can get along too. You could throw us anywhere and we would make it. Like, it was pretty incredible, the duo. Even Skip says to this day, he goes, you and Rachel, like, together. I mean, I've been to places, like she said, we could just like make it happen. I remember going to a concert with you and something didn't work out for us. And you go, hold on. She goes around and like has this shirt on, does something with her tits, and she gets something works out. And she goes, oh yeah, I just like put my cleavage in the window. Yeah. Shit. I
mean, that's when I was like probably 19. That's probably when I dropped out of West Georgia.
Yeah, but Rachel had these huge tits. See, I didn't have shit. Rachel had these huge tits. So we had like that. So it was like here. She had this thing.
We had yin and yang. That was like you had this, look, you would fight a bitch. You would go into I wouldn't have to do anything. I might get us in the door, but you would be like the bodyguard once we got there.
That's so damn funny. I would fight a bitch. See, I was always fighting. I was always in survival mode, always fighting. But sixth grade and stuff like that was cool. High school was when it really got real. Like both of our families, I think it was the same time. I mean, it was when my mom got on opiates, and the family, I mean, it was nightmare. I mean, it was horrible. But I think around the same time, you were going through it as well. But being a teenage girl, it's not like we talk about that together. We just get together and hang out. But you were going through some shit in high school at the same time I was, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy how our lives were kind of parallel. It was just with different parents. Yours was like the matriarch, mine was the patriarch, and it was like once again that kind of
You mean
yin
the
and
opposite?
yang.
You mean the
Yeah,
opposite?
like the yin and yang, yeah. But our timeline of like what was happening was parallel. The
Yeah.
stuff that you were going through with your mom, and then the stuff that I was going through with my dad, like we escaped together through a
Dude.
lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
And I think about times when if you weren't there, it makes me sick to my stomach because there were so many times that, like, I mean, as many times you'd be like, Randy be like, oh my God, like, does she live with us now?
I remember that. I remember you walked in, Papa goes, is she here again? But no, it really was. You and I we were thick as thieves, man. I mean, we had our other people we hung out with, but we did hang out a lot. Now looking back, I see that it was clearly the shit we were going through.
Yeah. Nobody understood it.
Money, you talking about, oh God, everything. And then who were you dating in high school?
Okay, so like it's funny because I didn't really I think I had one real boyfriend, I guess, in high school that I would consider asked me out. We dated for a while and then, we broke up. I think it was Casey Garman.
That's right. That's right. Oh my God. Yeah.
But other than that, I think, God, I think it was Matthew Carter was my last.
Yes. Okay. I knew it was something. And then I made a post in the free group and I said, be honest. Did you have dreams of being together, married? Did you think about life forever with your first little love?
No.
No? See, I did. Every woman on there said, yeah, even though it sounds stupid, yeah, in their mind, they would long for that dude loving them fully and then being the one and then being the only one.
I think I was so far into what my parents' marriage had become that I was like, nah.
Yeah.
I think at times I definitely, the version of it was really nice to think about, but in the guts of it, it took me a long time to get to that place of even being like, okay.
Yeah.
I can't, because some people, they'll have the almost engagements, be with someone so long that we'd almost get engaged. I wasn't really with anybody like that. You kind of know that. It was I would date and it'd be fun and we'd hang out and then it'd eventually go crazy because I was crazy too.
Yeah. Well, and then, okay, now let's talk about, so we went through that trauma, with mom and dad and stuff like that. And you said we can talk about some stuff. Okay. Sexual abuse. And then, dude, I found out about not that I was sexually molested, but the way my mom would she was sick with it. And it's actually called a form of sexual abuse, where she would come in and be like, oh, let me see your titties. Let me see your this, or, oh, after I go on a date, she'd look through my panties and say stuff and just violate the fuck out of you, and say things that make you feel very uncomfortable. My grandmother showed me porn at 7. Yeah. All those things are that's so sexual abuse, but it's not physical. So I just always wrote it off oh, no, I'm good. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But when was your first encounter? How old were you? Do you remember?
Mine's a bit rough. So a lot of people, I think, and I've been in therapy for I was thinking about 15 years now, it took me a long time to kind of understand that too. Cause like you said, things happen and you don't really realize it, that when it is happening, that it's traumatic and stuff. So right. I think I could probably, pull that back to 6 years old. I thought it was 8.
See, I thought it was middle school.
I hadn't talked to you since that therapy.
Nice. So you blocked it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought it for the longest time, I even thought it was an 8, and then it starts coming back to where it's 6. And then you start going into that whole grooming phase of abuse and things like that are every form. every form. It can be physical, it can be mental, it can be like, it can, yeah, it's just so many forms of it. I think there's so many women out there that don't understand and can feel confused of like why they feel screwed up in this kind of relationship, or they have this thing, oh, I just don't like to do that, or
No.
think, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
no, it's
like,
always from something. Like you
it's
can
always
always,
got a root somewhere.
and the reason I like to talk about this because Rachel, there's a lot of women, some of them have blocked it, but there's a lot, dude, that have not. And there's a lot of shame around it. And so when they hear about other people, they're like, oh my God, me too. And they don't feel so alone. You get it.
Yes. Oh yeah. I think that's what primary, like when I got to that phase of really feeling like that kind of healing, separating myself from the things that were still like a part of it.
Yeah.
And I think that's when I realized like it's okay to share it. It's okay to share what you're comfortable with. You know what I mean? You don't have to sit there and go into dirty details. There's some people that are weird and get off on that. But you know, there's still that out there, you know, but
Oh yeah.
but in the most part, you have the people that listen to it and hear it, and it's like, oh shit. And I do it very, this is probably the first time I've ever said it on a platform that people that like know us and have grown up with us. There's a very small circle of people in my life that actually know those things.
Yeah.
So when I actually talk about it or share that, it's usually with someone that I'm friends with, or you know, someone I'm
You feel safe
related to.
with.
And
Yeah.
that they need that story, they need to hear that. And
Right.
that's what
Absolutely.
so this is kind of a big deal for me, you know.
Okay, I got a question for you. What made you go deeper? Like what was it that happened that made you want to go deeper?
Oh, it was just all it fucking every kind of like what you say, where we were at a kind of a young age already being that kind of savvy with certain things and getting to get to a point when you hit like a certain success and then it feels uncomfortable and then you don't know what to do with it, and then you ultimately self-destruct because you're like, oh, this, you know, this shouldn't be this hard or something.
Yeah.
I think that's where it, and Malone really becoming a divorced single mom and having to just get my shit together for my little unit of a family. So I think both of those things, and they probably are synonymous, they probably happened at the same time. I don't know when their actual point, but I've been going to therapy, you know, that since we were in high school.
Yeah. But dude, you're right. That's when everything changed for me, is after the kids. I had like got deep into the postpartum depression.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, what is all this? And I started going inward, like, fuck, you know, shit.
Mine hit me actually when I was pregnant with Malone. And I got very suicidal because of everything that happened to me as a kid. I'm sitting there thinking like, oh my God, I'm going to bring a kid in this world. And this like happened on such a close level to me. Like you can't trust anybody, all this stuff. And like, I lost it. Like, and then Josh, you know, when we were married, he was deployed at the time too. So it was like, just really kind of.
Isn't that crazy? It makes sense on why you would attracted that into your life, because you didn't feel safe around men. So you needed one that would stay away from you.
Oh God, get out of my face. I never thought of it like that, but that makes a lot of sense.
This is what I do. People show people patterns, but it's crazy. But now, so teach me something today about Malone. So tell me, all right, what's all this new verbiage? Because you know you can't say that you can't say bisexual, you can't say this. What did he say that he was?
Well, with Malone, and I don't want to talk too much because I didn't really bring that up with, you know.
Okay, well, tell us about his friends. Well, tell me what the words are. And like when we were in school, by the way, I thought being bisexual was like, hold on, back it up. When I got into my shit, because I liked girls too. I didn't like girls only. I knew I liked boys, but I knew girls turned me on. And so I was like, what the fuck is this? And I always thought I was fucked up. And it still could be, but I got deep into research and just looking at everything, and turns out it's kind of normal, you know? So I'm asking you for that reason. It doesn't have to be him. It could be another kid. Like, what are they calling it? What's in the street these days in middle school? If you like, just tell me what that's like to have a middle schooler and them going through puberty. Tell me what you're learning.
Well, you know, honestly, with having a kid that is like open in that range and stuff, like I would put it down to this way. Like I'm an artist, right? But I'm not just artist brained. Like I'm also really into tech, and I'm also really into these very engineering things where, I can think 3D. Maybe that's like, this over level into the artistry.
Right.
So does that mean that I'm an engineer only, or does that mean I'm an artist only?
You're an and.
I'm an and I am a me,
Right.
So like I even think about what I've been with Malone is that, people have their set of skills they're born with, right? You're
Right.
either engineer, you're artist, whatever. And I think those things will come out even more as you get older and learn more about yourself.
Yes.
And then in the past, society will, pretty much kind of mold you in that way. And
Unfortunately.
our society is different now. And I think it kind of gives everybody the freedom to explore and figure it out. Because Malone, it's not just been a one thing into this thing into that thing. Like I feel like every day he just says, like I changed my mind. It's like kind of like you said, you were into girls, you knew that, but like it wasn't like a super thing, whatever. And you married a guy, you know what I mean? And it's like that's just what you want. And if it was a different person, if you met a girl that you got along with that much, you probably would have went further with her because it was in you. Right. It just wasn't facilitated by the right person.
Right.
So
yeah, I know the lesbians right now. They're going to be hitting me up going, you didn't find the right one. Because it's okay. I love that. Okay. So your thing is just let it unfold.
Yeah. I feel like one thing I push with Malone is let's not put a term on it.
Oh,
let's not put a turn on anything. Like when I refer to Malone, I refer to Malone as my kid. That's my kid, my little human. That's a whole person right there that's figuring out who they are. And I don't want to limit them for any season. You know what I mean?
I see now what you're saying. You don't even want to label it because if you do, then they may take that when they're really not even that.
Yeah. And it's really when you put it in that level about Malone and about who like the person is. It's like, because I think people lose a lot of fact that like children are so like they're sponges, they are literally like, so what you put in front of them, they're going to adapt to or move to. So if you put this thing in front of them like a blank piece of clay and say, this is your person, you're a kid, you're, I mean, that's it. And I feel like that's the way I've been able to be comfortable even with other parents and like being honest with other parents and not feeling like you're walking into something like having a sleepover with a whole bunch of girls. And then it's like, no, we got to have this conversation because
how does that work?
I literally talk to them. You know what I mean? I'm like, if I was a parent, I would want to know everything and be able to make my own decision. And guess what? Every time that I tell a parent and have the conversation with a parent, they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. It's like, it's like that my kid loves your kid. They love to play with each other. They love to do this. It's like, that's it. All right. Conversation done. Let's move on.
So cool.
It's like, it's that easy.
Nice. So you had the conversation with the parents. That's so cool though, that you're in what school district are you in?
I'm in Cobb.
Wow. And they're open. That's cool as fuck that they're open. I love that.
Oh my gosh. They've communicated with me and been open and been very sensitive to even like, but Malone, this is the funny thing about Malone. Malone don't have bullies really. Everybody, like I'm the parent that's like, I'm not really up his ass at school and going to PTA and stuff like that because I'm a single parent who has time for that.
You just don't want,
Yeah, I would love to. I know. I just ain't got time.
You would? You would?
I mean, not well. Look, I like having relationships with the cool parents. Like I've met some really cool parents that I really like them. They make it fun to do that because then you get to be a kid again, like with doing something like going field trips. I did a field trip the other day last year and I loved it.
I'd piss my pants if I could see you being with kids.
Oh my gosh. Especially like the middle school. They were fifth grade last year. So it was like, they were they wanted to feel really like cool. And it
Oh
was
my
really,
God.
I did some like 90s looking like fish islands, like pictures of them and stuff. And it looked like album covers. I had
Oh
fun.
my God. That's hilarious. So Malone's so lucky to have you as his mommy. That's awesome. Yeah. Wow. So you've had to just figure it out since you've had a man. It's when it started, made you go deeper, looking into your shit, had some stuff blocked out, figured out, and then that's cool that your therapist helped you do that. I know a lot that wouldn't be able to do that, but you're very open. I feel like you just got to you just got to feel safe, and you'll open. There's so many people that's so fucking, it's like they're hard, they're locked up. It's like I was very, very closed up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like that you're open. Okay. So what's one thing, one story, one situation that sticks out in your mind about us just in the past? What's one story? What's some things that stand out in your mind?
Well, definitely the food people, because we were young and we were like, that was probably our first like figure it out job. And we had no idea what we were getting ourselves into.
Were you scared?
No.
I was terrified.
When? At one point.
Wait. So backing up, y'all. So food people. So I was in tech school going for like obstetrical ultrasound. I just got done with the MA program. And then we get this opportunity to come in as partnering shareholders if we help to start this company that's now like Uber Eats. Okay. It was called Food People. And with this old guy that was funny as fuck. And I found him like funny. He
drove me fucking nuts.
Skip too. He was nutty in a funny way. Anyway, so yeah, we started doing this. We invested, I can't even tell you how much time because we didn't have any money, but we had nothing. We had like over 100 restaurants on the site. We were doing, we were delivering. Rachel was doing fucking interviews. Oh my God, I pissed my pants. But we built the site. We built, like, it was everything. Really,
the big thing about Food People was, so even you got to think about the time and just put that in perspective, because when you say internet company now, people are like, oh, okay. But
no, this was 2008.
I think it was actually beginning 2007 or something like that, because I will never forget going into my like interview with Derek at, I believe it was Tom's house.
I think you're right, because this was before Obama was elected in 08, right?
Yeah, see, exactly.
Yeah, we were already in there. Yeah, so it was 07. So 07 right when YouTube was coming out. You know,
yeah,
man.
And to put in perspective too, we were like all about MySpace.
Bitch. I was when YouTube, MySpace, it was the coolest thing ever, because I've always been in front of cameras. We've always loved to, I don't know. It was the shit. I think the phone during that time was a flip razor.
Yes.
No. Blackberry.
We had a flip razor, and then we upgraded to BlackBerry when we started working there.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So just to give y'all a little.
Yeah, you got to get a cultural backdrop of it, because then the big thing about Food People is it had a back end. So the fact that we had all of these restaurants in it was really the first interface that they could customize their own pages. So it was like we were building like a 2-layered, and back then that's really what the factor of sales that we were kind of pushing,
right?
Because we were trying to get in with all of the businesses, get into per diems.
So we had to my job was everything. We putting things together, but sales. I remember that, scared shitless. First of all, coming from the country, moving down to Buckhead, Atlanta. And I felt so intimidated. I remember having to do a drink. I remember having to go get a drink for the first call we did. And so anyway, we ended up getting all these restaurants, hiring people, hiring drivers, which was hilarious because Rachel was in charge of fucking hiring drivers. Like, God,
that was something cool I did that I thought, like, even looking back on that, on 36, we were like, what, 21 or something?
Oh, 2021.
We weren't even, I remember we turned 21 when we were there, because then it was like, I finally stopped using my fake ID, and it was like,
yeah. And, you remember, that's right when, this cat, we were in the We're in the mix. We're in the
up.
mix. Everybody that watches and listens to my shit knows this cat's never like this. He is on one. He is trying to get into the computer and everything. Okay, John.
I need a clip of this because my friend Brett's gonna be like, "This is hilarious."
Look, watch this shit. So anyway, I'm just gonna let him do something right now. And
what's up, bro?
I mean, hey, buddy, come here. I know you want Rachie. Listen, all the
that is so funny. You might have to put him in another room.
I'm telling you. So going back to the food people,
oh my God,
so giving y'all an example of what's going on. And I remember Skip saying, I'll never forget, there was this whole room, the boardroom or the whatever, and I had to go in there and train people on how to use the system. And I was like, oh my God, I can't eat. So when I told John that story, I totally forgot about it. And I forgot about how much, like even he kind of like, really? Because I don't talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
But damn, did we get some fucking experience in a startup, right?
Dude, that was like one of those kind of internet startup things that you look. And here's the thing. I don't even really tell that story that much to people. Like food people has become an antidote, because if I told them, when I've told people the whole story, they look at me and they're like, you're full of shit. Like with everything down to the drama and down to the end of it, they're like, yeah, that sounds like a movie. And I'm like, I should probably like get on that.
Well, I remember we only made like $800 every 2 weeks. Is that right?
It was a little bit over. I think it was like $860.
That's it. And then we had a beanbag for furniture. Like Skip stopped work to do this. Like he stopped making six figures to do this. Like looking back, dumbest idea ever. I should have just done it, and he should have kept doing baseball. That would have been perfect.
Oh, you know what? That would have been perfect. I didn't even think about that.
But you know why? I wasn't in my power, and Tom was very old school. He saw it as the man new business. But yeah, if it would have just been me and you and fucking Matt Brown.
Honestly, Derek, man, I learned so much from that guy.
True. Derek, me and you, we could have ran it.
He stuck me in that Euro, and he had to separate us, and then he stuck me in his corner office with him. And what was his girlfriend's name?
Oh my, I don't know.
Starts with a C, right?
I can't remember.
I can't remember. It kills me. She gave me a birthday card, like handmade and everything, like, and didn't sign her name.
Yeah, we found out later. So people are like, why are y'all talking about it? Because we found out later that we think this guy was in some kind of like, I don't know if it was a Ponzi scheme or what he was doing with credit cards. Because Tom, Tom.
It was bigger than that. He was associated with the Lou Pearlman case. So Lou Pearlman, if anybody knows about that guy, in the 90s boy bands, stole a lot of money as a manager, and he ended up being his dude's right-hand man.
Yeah, he was connected, and I don't know how we figured all this out, but I met Tom, the guy that pitched us food people via credit card processing. All right. And he was in with Derek because what we're thinking is he had access to all these credit cards and like 1 cent on every transaction. Like that's how he got rich. And we were thinking he was trying to crack into this shit to get what, I don't know. We just found out things that make sense. He didn't even have the real name that he gave us wasn't even his real name. And so they booted him out, and we were left, we built everything else. That's when we started doing everything on our own. Yeah.
And that was incredible. And, to think about how long we kept that thing going.
We scaled it really quick.
Yeah. But I'll never forget when a friend of mine was like, I think it was in West Cobb, and he was the manager at the Moe's. And he was like, hey, your food people just came in here and like talked about hooking us up or whatever. I'm like, damn, at West Cobb, okay, from like Buckhead. That was a pretty big circle.
That was huge. That was so big. And yeah, it just failed miserably because I forget what happened to make it not go. It just was in the wrong time.
Oh, I remember everything, man. Because it was when we were literally expanding. We were at the point that Derek was ready to move back from New York. Yeah, when he went back to New York with his girlfriend, because you remember he got me in my apartment.
Yeah.
And then he was going to live in the same apartment building as me. And so he calls me, and I remember, and that's when you and Skip had kind of been like, this is getting a little fishy over here somewhere. And Skip had a friend that he called and like did kind of a little background check.
FBI. I remember the FBI.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
FBI.
And so he went to New York and then he called me. And this is one thing that's weird. It's like I had such a relationship with him.
Yeah.
He got me out of my mom's house. I was young. He got my first place by myself in Buckhead. Like,
but you see how he does that with girls? Like he had his girlfriend like that.
Oh, 100%. But then he taught me so much shit. He taught me so much about technology and stuff that, so he called me. I said, dude, the jig is up. Like they know something's up. I don't know what's going on, but I've heard FBI. And he was just like, oh shit. And
I remember. Fuck.
And he said, I can't remember exactly what he said, that because I was being very cryptic about it, because I wasn't sure if I'm like being recorded at this point or something, you know. Because we had been doing it for a minute.
Yeah.
And he was just like, it's been great knowing with you. I hope the best for you. And then poof.
Yeah, poof is right.
Out in the sunset, and that was it.
No, I remember we needed another we needed some more capital. And that other guy, we had that investor and he was going to invest in something. I don't know, but I'm glad that it happened. I'm glad that it didn't work out but I learned so much from it. So you remember that?
A lot.
Yeah. And that was actually, I remember this is a time when Skip got fat as shit. We were drinking. We were drinking so much. I remember going in one of those bars and shooting back-to-back Jack Daniels. You remember that? It's when you flooded the apartment and I fucking vomited everywhere.
Yeah, that Jack Daniels, I can't even smell. If someone's been drinking Jack Daniels and I smell it, I'm like,
yeah, some fun stories. We used to, on a Thursday night, we would split a Listerine bottle full of Jack Daniels, and that was
Listerine size. It wasn't an actual Listerine.
Yeah, Listerine size bottle. Yeah, it's crazy. But people just don't. They think I've always been like real healthy and wise and shit.
Oh God, you were like the epitome of skinny fat kind of thing.
Skinny fat and
or like you were just like you would fried food, junk food, you know, going to like we'd go stop at like Wendy's and just get like 99-cent menu before we were gonna go like drink our face off and do whatever else. But
no, let's be real. You even said something to me one time. I would get a triple cheeseburger with sweet tea and a large fry. Hammer it. That's just how we ate, man. It's just how we ate.
On the way to West Georgia, just like
yeah, man. We had to go party that night. But people think, you know, oh, it just must be easy for you. And I'm like, you have no fucking idea. You know what I'm saying?
I think the first part's like survival, and then the next part's actually learning that you don't have to survive like that, and actually like enjoy life.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk real quick about that. When did you go through this next phase of like that? Hey, I don't have to fight to survive anymore.
I would say around COVID.
How? What happened?
Because I think I was always doing well, you know, and I was always doing, you know, well enough, especially to like, you know, provide for me and Malone to have a good life.
Yeah.
But then I started getting better with my therapy about like my fear of success, my fear of money, and all of that stuff that comes with it. Once I got there, then it was like, oh, okay, the more money I have, the more people I can help, the more things that I love to do, I can just do those in a bigger way. And that was a turning point, that when COVID, I was working for this guy and I pretty much like saved his business because I switched him over to this like POS system that had online ordering, and he's old school guy, and it took like so much convincing to get him to do it. But it was perfect timing because we had a shutdown. I didn't even have to shut down the restaurant to get it, you know, installed and stuff. So it was like everybody was shut down anyways.
Yeah.
And so I got that put in, and at the end of it, I was like, I need to be a consultant. Like, you know, I'd had my art business so long. I'd been doing all of those other technical things for so long that it's like, I jumped on it, and I got a really good therapist again. because I've had like 20 of them in 15 years.
Okay, I got a question. What's the amount you sold your first painting for?
Actually, I have a story behind that. It's a really good story. Lauren Fraser is her maiden name. She married so she's been Lauren Rader for a while.
Yeah, I work with her. I just looked at her ass. Look, have you seen her ass?
Oh, like, she's got a great body.
Like, look.
It's impressive.
Damn. Okay.
It's like she just woke up one day and was like, I think I'll just do that.
Okay, so carry on. So that girl.
So she's a nurse. Thank you, nurses everywhere, because like talking to her and hearing everything, and she's very open about that stuff. I love her comments and opinions on things, because she just is like she doesn't bullshit. Yeah. But she's a nurse, and this was kind of like around the time that I think she even started. And I had just done this weird painting where I painted a hand and a heart, and she hit me up on Facebook, and I've been doing something, but this was like, is this my first painting? Yeah, I guess it was my first painting sold. Anyway, she contacts me. She's like, I'm a nurse. I love that. Can I buy that? And then I told her, oh, I usually charge for this or something. And she wrote me a check, sent it in the mail for like $100. And it was like, don't ever sell yourself short. That was written on the memo.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Okay. So you probably charge what, $40?
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. That's what I was trying to charge her. I was like, oh, I hope she says yes. Because I'm trying to sell a painting. I'm like, usually I do it for that, but I'll do this for you for this. And she wrote me the first amount on a check and said, don't ever sell yourself short.
Damn right.
And that was monumental.
Holy
especially
shit.
At that point.
Oh, I used to sell meal plans for $40. Now we're like, somebody said, what's your yearly? I'm like, 50 grand. So what's your most expensive painting so far? You can even give me murals, like that counts.
I was gonna say it's different now, because it's like my art can be a mural. So probably the one that tops out is 12.
Yeah. 12K.
Yeah.
So $40 to 12K. Dude,
I didn't even think about that. It's hard to think about it like that.
But it's just phenomenal. And that's what, I promote. That's what we do with women. We help them remove their success blocks so that they can, step into it. So when you said you were scared of success, dude, that was so mean. I thought it was failure. I thought, people say I'm scared of failure. Really? We're all scared of our power. We're scared of the success. Yeah. Like money scared the fuck out of me. No shit, no cap. Because people are like, how did you hit, the 7 figures? I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, because I've got proof. I'm in groups. I'm in little groups like mastermind. This was but when I was like struggling. I was hitting like 50K months, 70K months, like trying to hit the 100K. Because in this industry, it's like 100K months is like where you want to be, and then you go up from there. Yeah. I was so scared, Rachel. I was like, please somebody tell me that makes this money. Like, what do you do with that money sitting in your account? Like, what are you going to do with all that money? It was so petrifying to me to have that much fucking money. Yeah. And until I found systems and understood why I felt that way, was I able to ever like transcend that? I think that is kind of like as a whole of people in America, where it's like, here's how you get to be successful. And then nobody tells you what to do with the money, what to do with it once you get there, and how not to completely screw yourself or what, it's like, we just didn't really get that kind of like comprehension. What were some of the, because I know what mine were, what were some of the fears you had around that much money? I think especially with my family, one big fear was, especially with like the abuse that, we went through, that you see what people are like with money, and then money can be gone real quick. And then you see what happens after that. And in a weird way, I found my happiness when I was poor. So having money again scared me, because I was happy. And I'm like, if I get money again, like, what is that going to mean? Like,
I don't
'Cause
want
we're taught
that
that.
to change. Yeah.
We're taught that rich people are miserable. And I remember my dad, when he started making six figures, his first six-figure year, he was the most stressed out I've ever seen him. Like things went downhill. In my mind, in Casey's little mind, when daddy started making more money, there was more responsibility, bigger bills. Mom's got too much to spend on Oxycontin. I saw it as a bad thing. So in my mind, of course, I'm blocking myself at 60K months because, or whatever, the six-figure thing, because that's going to happen. And that was so fucking wrong. That was because their energy and frequency, it's like lottery winners. That's why they lose it. They're not a vibrational frequency. They're not a match for that money. That's why poor people, like a poverty mindset, it always just goes. It goes because they're not enough. It's like an addict. There's never enough to a true addict, you know?
Yeah. And there's no value. There's no value. There's no like foundation to like what's left on that. So yeah, it just is fleeting.
Yeah. They're trying to buy their happiness. And that's what you can't do. Now, money, it doesn't buy happiness. If you just get happy, you'll find money. You know what I'm saying? Like that's been the thing for me, but it is scary having a lot of money. Women are like, oh, I don't have money blocks. I'm like, bitch, if I fucking, how much money you want? Oh, I want this much. And I'll be laughing. I'm like, that's it. Because, and well, if I really tell you the truth, they feel stupid for asking for that much. And I'm like, if I drop that shit in your bank account right now, you would shit your pants. You'd wonder who's going to come take it. You'd wonder if you're going to get in trouble. You'd wonder if you're going to be a bitch. I legit got scared to tell everybody what I make. I can't tell anybody what I make unless I'm in this industry, because in this industry it's accepted. But if I go on the street and just say, you say like 20K a month, they're like, people feel weird about you.
Yeah. I think, and I bet you $1 million people that we know from Cedartown too, the people that have like done well for themselves, I bet they get that all the time, you know, too, where it's like, you come from a place where you're not comfortable, because then you talk about it. It's almost like this, what you said, the effect of, what's the word? The lottery curse, you know? And it's like this curse that like people get murdered for that stuff. They get jealous, they get like crazy. And, you know, so there is this fear of like vulnerability of being like, and you can't help it if you're in the limelight. You know, like if you're in front, like this is one thing, this is the first podcast I've ever done directed at me, because I'm a producer, I'm an artist. Like
it's safer to not be seen.
Well, you know, and that's the thing. I'm pushing my art. I'm not pushing my face. I'm not pushing like me. I found a way to be successful by not having to be like
out there.
Out there. Yeah. But I wanted that. You know what I mean?
I know a lot of people that want that. I had to just rewrite my beliefs and just say, like, me being here is of high service. Me being here is what I'm supposed to be doing. But yeah, it's crazy, man. So if you're listening, start looking into the fears of success about, because if you don't have the thing, you only just 3 reasons. You don't want it. You're afraid of what's going to happen when you get it, or you don't feel worthy of it.
Yeah. Worthy is a big thing too, because value as an artist. Like if you don't value yourself as an artist, then you're not going to value the work. And then other people aren't going to value it either.
So what have you done? What's some of the top 2 tips that helped you with worthiness?
I would say just new experiences, because when you have fear, I always say I have a motto that it's like, if it scares the shit out of you, you should probably do it. Like the company I'm working for right now, Lemongrass Farms, I came on as their creative director. And, you know, that I was coming from working on my own, being my own boss for like 10 something years. And I actually joined this company, and, you know, I haven't done that in a really long time. So
you were scared. I remember you texting me a lot and you're like, listen. I'm like, okay.
I'm freaking the hell out, because like I have not been in a position to have a CEO or, you know, these things in front of me, but I was able to come in and like create the department and create. They are some of the best people, because they give me artistic freedom. They give me that. They're like that best kind of what do you call it, the collector. And I wanted to try it because it's a product, you know, it's 100% all natural bug spray. I'm kind of totally the person that they would be selling this shit to, because I'm a gardener, I hike, I'm a mom, I gotta use kids bug spray, and then spray our fly repellent. I eat outdoors. Who's that is outdoors doesn't do that. It's like, you're telling me I'm the person that I have to speak to and get excited about this product and everything. And that's like my creative job every day now, is just to be like, and then to see people like y'all, like, my friends, and be like, just excited about it.
Yeah.
And being a part of like a community. So I think I was really scared, but now I'm in it and I can really see the benefits of like how much fun this is going to be. So my first tip would be like, if it scares the shit out of you, then you should probably do it. And then 2, probably, I always kind of go back to my granddad, my granddad.
Well, I do, but what the fuck, which part?
I know, because he was so out there with things. And he was, he's a colonel in the Air Force, worked at the Pentagon, worked under like all these presidents and stuff. And he could just simplify work with things. And in his words, he'd be like, Rachel, if they ask you for a pint, you give them half a gallon.
If they ask you for a pint, give them half a gallon.
Yeah. And that's it. It's like, do the shit that you're scared of. And then when you do it, just don't half-ass it. Go all the way and go more.
How do you rest? So we teach women we get them out of burnout too, because they are in an all or nothing. So what are some ways that you allow yourself to rest in your nervous system to kind of reboot?
Believe it or not, and this doesn't sound like rest, but it is for me. I fucking climb. I started climbing to get like over my fear of heights. And then I started climbing and realized that it calibrates my brain. So when you're like sitting there and trying to climb, you're using your body and then you're using your brain at the same time, and you just get done and you feel like you had a whole body massage. All of the knots, all of like the kinks and everything's just gone. And then your brain is just like zen. Like I leave that place feeling like I left a spa.
Nice. Climbing. Who would have fucking thought, man? I need to dance.
I know.
I haven't been to the pole class, man, in a minute. I like
that. Sounds fun.
It is fun, but I want more ratchet. I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of white girls in there, and I know dissing on white people, but like there's this one white girl. She's there on Wednesday nights. It's called Slink Floor Work, and she'll play some nasty fucking R&B. That's what I need. I need some culture.
Look, I want to go into one of those spin classes where it looks like a freaking nightclub.
Oh, what are they called? Soul Cycle?
Whatever. And they're just doing like all these they are dancing their asses off on their like bikes. I want to do that shit.
Hey, you know what you need to do? If you like all the soul stuff, that gym in Atlanta that 2 weeks out does, what the fuck? The Loft.
Oh.
Girl, if you could see their fucking step class, Rachel, they play shit like we like, and it is a club. It's like going to a club and it's a gym.
I'm gonna have to get online because I'm almost thinking that I followed them because I get all this stuff from Atlanta, and that's where I'm watching all this stuff.
The Loft. The Loft.
Okay.
I mean, anytime I come to Atlanta, I always like April Moss. Let's go in there, man. Jason Lobdell and his wife, Alani, I think that's how you say her name, Helani. They own it, and it's fucking, dude. I want to go.
Yeah,
I want to go.
Well, next time you're in Atlanta, we're gonna go.
Yeah, buddy. Okay, people that I work with, if I admire some aspect in their life, or I want them to teach me how to do something or embody something, and I ask them a question. I love stories. I'm like, well, did you ever feel like this? When did you go through this? And then they don't want to talk about it. Like, I don't like that. I like to connect. Yeah. I feel like I like to connect. And I mean, is it needed? No, we don't need the story because I don't want to connect to it. It's not like we're bringing that into the now. It's just, hey, man, if we can do this and look where we were, God, do something, keep going, find inspiration, get some new friends, like read a book, goddamn, something.
Honestly, if people can go and listen to Joe Rogan on some of the most the people he has on there always are like totally different, totally like, a master of some way in their art, craft, whatever. But people sit there for 2 hours just talking about like these one things. So then it's like, yeah, like I think we're at the point now that people want to hear the stories. People want to hear the explanations and like the behind the scenes, because it's just like marketing, even and advertising.
Yeah.
People hate ads. People hate ads. They hate marketing. They hate this stuff. They hate being fooled.
I hate it.
They just want to see the truth.
I hate it. I wish I could stop making fucking ads. It's like, here's how to get fit with no cardio. It seems like, though, honestly, I struggle with this, Rachel, so bad. And thank God for Dan Henry. Like, he is such a master with marketing. Mm-hmm. And I was so pissed off. I wasn't hitting the number goals that I wanted to hit. And I was focused on the numbers, of course, and you probably shouldn't be. You probably should be focused on something else, whatever.
I do both.
Because I know I have to say do both. Maybe not, whatever. But he goes, you got to sell them what they want, give them what they need. And I thought I was high one night having these thoughts. And I was like, if you think about Superman, Clark Kent, he had to be Clark to even know how to save people and be Superman. So bitch, can you just blend in so you can like legit low key be Superwoman to them? Because instead of me coming out and saying, hey, you want to know why you're fucking stuck over here and doing all this shit? Here's the real reason why. They can't hang with that. They're not, because they want to lose weight. So I had to get good at marketing, like sell them what do they want? And then on the back end, give them what the fuck they need. Cause they're never like down about that. But I am trying to figure out, Rachel, if there was a way just to magically like be who the fuck I am, not have to worry about marketing. Mm-hmm. And the right people just come in. Like, that's what I'm trying to get to. That's why I want to do more podcasts. That's why I want to do all this shit. Cause I'm so fucking over that other shit.
Yes. Well, and this is the thing, Casey, think about it this way. You've been doing this, like in this, like self-sell kind of as an like I would say, I say athlete, cause you competed, that, you've been doing this for every stage of the social media, every benchmark and stuff. And the exact same way that you're feeling is the way everybody else is feeling. Absolutely. Everybody's burnt the fuck out. They're so tired of this overproduced shit. They just want to hear, what are you selling me? Do I want it? I'll go get it. You know what I mean?
No shit. No shit. So see.
Hey, Miley Cyrus, I can buy my own flowers. Okay. Just like, you don't have to like put this crazy bow. You don't have to do that shit. Just like, tell me, what I want. Tell me where to get it. Tell me, and that's the beauty of social media and the connections, is that it's like everybody's got their groups.
To me, that's what it's about. It's connection and people. That's what I wish I could say to my old self, is not vulnerability. I don't hate that word. It's a strong word, but it's not vulnerable. I didn't know what that meant. I thought it meant break down and cry. No, it's how are you feeling?
Yeah.
Like,
and then actually wanting to listen.
yeah. Wanting to listen and connecting so you don't feel alone, so they don't feel alone. Hey, we're together now. I like that shit. Yeah, it definitely felt better. Our whole sales team took a complete, I rebuilt everything in September. I said, fuck it. We were doing like 220K months, but I was spending, a lot in ads. And it felt so bro. It felt so, oh my God. And I said, fuck it. I let go the sales team, kind of did it on my own and figured out how to make it feel good. Mm-hmm. And so we created a way where it feels good for the buyer, for us. And even now when our sales team reaches out, it's like, give them something for free, no strings attached, check on them. If it turns into something great, if not, that's fine too, because it just feels better. And it's heart-led. It's just heart-led, really, because it's that. And that feels better. So, and it's scary because I could be sitting here right now doing 500K months, but it would be built on
bullshit.
It would be built on like, a lot of heavy advertising. Mm-hmm. And then I wouldn't have to get really good at organic. I want to get really good at organic. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that's what it comes down to. I think you're on the right track when you talk about just like putting yourself in these positions where people can get to know you and know why that you are who you are. It did not come from like this, perceived like you had everything handed to you. No, you literally, I remember your dad, his favorite thing in the kitchen was the Fry Daddy. I'll never forget when I turned that thing on and forgot to take the lid off. I think he probably wanted to murder me.
Yes, he did. Melted the damn Fry Daddy lid, and that was so fucking funny. Oh
I
my God.
literally think that was the first time I've ever seen Randy like mad at me.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy, man.
Oh my God.
Totally. We go way back, way back. Yeah. Fry Daddy's man. And yeah, but I think it's just crazy. People look at me and they're like, what's this white little skinny rich bitch know about this struggle? And I'm like, baby, do I know? You know what I mean? Even
Yeah.
like meeting Skip with the ex and the kids, man, and what we grew up in,
Oh
just
God.
in the country
Yeah.
too. We grew up on dirt roads, Rachel. Not many people can say that. You and I both
Yeah.
were the only girls that went to that fucking school that grew up on a dirt road.
What's funny, this is the crazy thing too. Like, well, one, yeah, I say people I like lived in bumfuck Egypt. They don't realize that I literally was in Egypt.
Right.
But
Yeah.
our dirt roads actually were connected over one paved road. So the
One.
fact that we could get to each other's houses like on four-wheelers and stuff was pretty fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what's nuts? Let me see what time my other appointment is. What's nuts is do you know anything about ley lines and vortexes?
Wait, what now?
Ley lines and vortexes in the earth.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
Okay, so I found this app to see, because I've always noticed the places that I'm drawn to spiritually, they're always these special places and have vortexes. It's weird. The reason I wanted to go to Sarasota, there's one there. The place I wanted to be in California, weird. So I found this thing you put over, you have to do it on Android. You put over Google Maps and it shows you all these ley lines across the globe and you follow them to see where the origination is. Sorry, where the origination is, and you can look it up and see like this incredible shit that explains like why you've been thinking the things you've been thinking since you were a child. It's fucking weird. And
Dude,
my ley line crossed over. It crossed over. The one I was on specifically came through Esom Hill.
shut the fuck up.
Swear to God, not Cedar Town, not anything. So it's like it came right there in your area. Isn't that
Yeah,
crazy?
I was gonna say I was gonna say like it was a weird place because half of like on the map where our house was built, half of our house was like technically in Alabama, and half of it was in Georgia. So it was this really weird like wherever our house was, it was like right there on the Alabama line too. But look, there's something weird about that place. Anyways, Esom Hill, there is like some kind of like I don't know what it is there, but it's something. I don't
Yeah, well,
know.
it's a ley line runs through there, and I thought it was so interesting because it wasn't anywhere else, and it goes right through there. I'm like, I'll be damned, Esom Hill,
Dude,
and
if you want to get in on some of those stuff, I could get in. Like Papa, he is such a dimension, like all of these different like things that you put into, and me, I'm huge on like mushrooms and the mycelium and like that kind of the natural effect of things like that. And
yeah.
oh
With
man, we could
Skip,
go in wormhole.
yeah. Skip said he was telling me the mushrooms are like the only species that they all connect. Like
Oh,
no matter where you're at on the planet, they're all connected to something. I don't know, some underground shit.
it's amazing. It's like they're just like a little heartbeat on our earth.
And you do you still microdose for that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
Does your
I mean,
therapist give it to
huh?
you? Does your
No,
therapist?
hell no. No, that's just out of me being you know, I guess you could say hippie
Okay, and let me
forever,
ask you
but
this. Have you done ketamine?
no, fuck that.
Okay, tell me why you say fuck that.
Um, well, just I would say even recently, like there's a place in Ackworth that I guess was doing like ketamine treatments, and like people use it irresponsibly. And so I think that there's a lot of really iffy lines between ketamine places that like do the treatments and like drug users and trafficking. So I think
Okay. Well, I mean, it's
it's
chemical. So
really
I'm not fucking with it. It's a chemical.
exactly, yeah. But
So
see,
I
and that's
just,
the thing. Think about what runs around it. Period. That's it. That's
yeah.
enough for me.
Okay. Yeah, no, the shrooms, I have I think I started doing some microdosing testing with that shit in like August, September.
Hmm.
Holy shit. And I also have this little machine that tells you when your serotonin's down. And you can feel it. You know when you're sad. And
Yeah.
no shit, I will do that. And I can't tell you what it does. It's not that it makes you happy or whatever. Naturally, that shit will boost you because I'll recheck my shit and I won't need it until it may be a month, it may be whatever. But I've never seen anything work because I've tried antidepressants. Never seen anything work
Yeah.
for your chemicals like that ever.
Yeah. I think you're right. I mean, when it comes down to natural things, and here's the thing, most of like ketamine, opiates, anything that's like synthetic and man-made, it was once originally natural.
Right. Right.
So why can't we go back there?
Yeah. So I love what you're doing. So yeah, maybe we will. If somebody listens to it, we can go back over. We can talk about sex next time, or talk about something else next time.
I was gonna
Okay.
say it's a lot.
It's a lot. So let's do we'll end with some cards for you. So pick a number.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, 3.
Let's see what Rachel says here. And then I think it's cool that you're on here because you are such an artist. And I know we have a lot of artist mommies on here that are just coming, like this one girl, Christy, she's in my group and another shaman's group. Anyway, she's just now coming out charging. She's a wonderful pet psychic. She's a Reiki. She does Reiki on animals.
Mhm.
Like if something's wrong with it, physical, emotional, they're acting someone. She's so good. You pay her and she will do all this stuff. Send you the recording, let you know what they need to. It's crazy.
That's cool.
She was so afraid to come out about that, so afraid to charge for it. And she's starting to come out about it, So just to have you as a legit, starting as a painter, multi-dimensional fucking artist you are, I think that a lot of women are going to connect with you. That's kind of why I like having you on here. And the fact that you know me, you've known me the longest. So this is interesting. Transformation. Yeah. And
good.
It's holding like a yin yang. It's got the snakes, which is just shedding of your past. It's I need to read you I can send you the meaning. It's the Osho cards. Mm-hmm. So I have to send you the meaning.
Yeah, I would love that. Honestly, that's a really good one for me right now. Because
let's see what it means. So Osho,
I'm literally right in it.
Card meaning of the commentary of the transformation Osho's in. All right, it's time to give up deeply. You can leave suffering, sorrow, difficulty, and accept its feature. Meanwhile, this is very similar to the experience of the Tathagata. I can't say that. After many years of searching, he gave up as he knew he could do nothing more. The night he enlightened that transformation appears as the death at the right time. And like death, it takes you from one dimension to another dimension. Okay. Zen master is not just a teacher, since all religions have only their teachers. They teach you about disciplines that you do not know. Then they ask you to trust, because that's the only way to bring you the experience of the discipline into objective reality. No teacher knows about the Dharma. They only believe and convey your beliefs to others only. Meditation is not a world of believers, not for loyal people, but bold souls to let go of the belief, disbelief, doubt, reason, and mind. From there, step into their own pure existence without any barriers, and meditation will bring tremendous transformation. So let me say, while philosophers think Zen involves transformation, a form of transformation is true alchemy, transforms you from ordinary metal into gold. However, the language of Zen must be understood. So anyway, hopefully that all kind of makes sense to you right now.
I think it does. I think I've kind of gotten into this is proof of it right now, sitting here on the podcast with you. I think I've gotten to a place in my life that I have been so private and so kind of like about how I even got to kind of like you. We've both been very kind of like private on those certain things. And I feel like I have a bit of an alchemist inside of me that's like, I'm ready to stir up some excitement and some trouble and some art and creativity, however that shit comes out. But it's like a lot of it has to do with just every part of it. So I'm ready for that card.
All right. Are you ready for the card? And I love what you said today. Today's takeaway is the old fashioned. If it scares you, then it's probably what you need to do.
100%. And then when you do it, don't half-ass it. You got to go all
the
way.
Do it like you believe it's gonna fucking turn into something.
100%. You know what? That's even better. Papa used to say, because he knew I could paint things in my head, and he was like, you need to paint exactly what you want. Don't be scared to paint exactly what you want. And so that was my form of meditation, is like painting my picture exactly how I want it. And what's crazy is that every time I painted it very detailed in my head, somehow those things like happened. So, I mean, whether it's meditation, putting yourself there, whatever, but you're setting yourself up in a way.
Wow. So you could paint you could manifest your life through painting.
Yeah.
Like if you want this, what would that represent? And then paint that. Oh my God, that is genius.
It's crazy. And it's a good exercise for any artist that's just trying to learn how to paint, because there's not a lot of pressure on that.
See, you need to start a course right now.
On top of my other things.
Oh yeah, why not? Just throw it in there. Just throw it in there, you know.
Right on my list. I'll get to that one.
Yeah. We don't do Adderall anymore, so we can't do that.
I love this. This was so much fun. It was it was a perfect time to do it on Friday too.
Yeah, I thought so. Even though I'm swollen still after the dental shit, and I'm like, oh, fuck it, man. It's Rachel. We're just going to roll, man. We're going to put on the podcast. But we have a lot of listeners on the podcast, and this is just an episode I've never done before, like shooting the shit, connecting, and with somebody that's, interesting.
Yeah.
I think my girls will dig you. And yeah, so we'll see how it goes. I know how it's going to go, and don't give a fuck. It's my goddamn podcast. So there you go.
I receive all your compliments. I receive this was a really great experience. And, next time I'm going to get you on a podcast, and we'll talk about holistic stuff, the natural stuff. Cause that's, we need to hear about that too.
It's funny. People, my face isn't natural, but I do like natural stuff.
Oh, I love that. Hey, Dolly Parton, man. Dolly Parton.
She said, behind these big old boobs there's a heart. Behind this, all this fake hair, there's a brain.
Anybody says anything where I'm like, get out of my face.
Get out of my face. No, what is it, Rachel? What is it? Shut your face, bitch. Wipe that face off, bitch.
Wipe that face off, bitch.
Wipe that face off, bitch. I love it. Okay. So will you spell your name, because the audio, they can just go follow your stuff.
Okay. So my handle is art by Rachel J, ARTBY RACHEL, just like the Bible. Everybody always says that.
You're very holy, Rachel.
Very holy.
Love it. Love it. All right. Talk to you soon.
All right. Love you.
Love you too. Bye.